Hi everybody, let's have some fun with concrete tonight. Yeah, this sounds a little bit strange. I just want to show you how to create this nice concrete procedural shader in Blender 4.0. You can see here I modeled earlier a scene with this procedural concrete texture, and let's go to the render view, and you can see pretty nice texture with concrete. So you can use it in your own project later, maybe architectural project, or maybe in something else. So let's start maybe by creating a new scene. So file, new, general. Okay, I don't want to save, and we have this nice default cube. So maybe we'll add some plane, Shift A, mesh, not cube, Control Z, Shift A once again, and plane. Okay, let's scale it a little bit. Okay, maybe this is enough. Okay, let's bring it to the top, G, Z, and 1, and it's up. Okay, let's switch to the render view, viewport shading. Okay, I have some default light set, so let's leave it for now. And okay, what now? Now we can split the view. Okay, this window, and let's change it to shader editor, and let's add some new material. Okay, new. Okay, let's zoom it. Let's can hide this side menu by pressing N on keyboard. Okay, and now we can start making our shader texture with concrete. Let's make one more thing in render view, max sample. Let's change it to 64. We don't need 124. Okay, 1024, sorry. 64 will be just enough. Okay, so let's start by creating maybe some noise texture. Yeah, Shift A. Let's search for noise texture. Okay, and we can preview this texture by pressing Ctrl Shift and left click. Okay, now we can add, of course, mapping, Ctrl T. Let's change from generated to object. Okay, let's add some color ramp, Shift A, ramp. And now with color ramp we can adjust our noise texture, maybe this much, and let's change this color to dark gray, maybe something like this. Okay, and this one also let's change it to maybe some light grayish, maybe something like this. Okay. One more thing I forgot. Let's add some bevel to this cube. Okay, Shift Tab to edit mode. Let's change to shading viewport. Okay, and press 2 for edges. Select all and Control B to bevel. Let's make it that way. Maybe this much. Scroll to set multiply this bevel. Okay, maybe this much is okay. Let's change it to render view. Okay, and now let's bring this principle to ramp color. Okay, now we have left to set some scale. Maybe this is too much. Maybe let's set it to 1. Okay, Detail, of course, max. Roughness is okay. Maybe let's change distortion a little bit. 0.2 will be enough. Okay. We can play with maybe a scale a little bit. Maybe 2.4, maybe it will be okay. And let's add some Musgrave texture. Shift A, Musgrave texture. Okay, let's add connect vector to vector, and let's add a mix because we want to mix these two texture together. So Shift A, mix color. Okay, let's add the top noise texture to the slot A and this one Musgrave texture to slot B. Okay, let's change a little bit here. We can preview this Musgrave texture alone, and maybe I will add some Shift A color ramp, of course, to control a little bit of contrast. Okay. We'll bring it a little bit maybe to the center, something like this. Now here, and let's change the scale to maybe 100. Let's see, maybe 150. Okay, detail max. And what else? Dimension, we don't need 2, we can set it to 0. Okay, linearity, let's set to 1. Sorry, no, Control Z, something strange happened. Linearity 1, okay. And let's preview the principal BSDF. It looks pretty nice as a base of our concrete material. Let's change here one more thing in mix node. Let's change to lighter, maybe light in soft light. Let's choose soft light. Why not? Yes. Let's zoom it to see how it looks. It looks pretty okay. Some zoom out. Okay, we can turn off camera for now. Let's see how it looks. It looks okay. So now we can make another set of texture, and it will be another layer of our concrete texture. So let's create Voronoi texture. Shift A, Voronoi texture. Okay. Let's preview it. Shift, Control, and left click. Left, Shift, Control, and left click. Okay. Let's change to from F1 to distance to edge, because we want something like cracks in our concrete. Yes. Let's change some parameters. Maybe 0.4 will be enough. Maybe something like this. We can control this later. Okay, detail max. Roughness, let's change a little bit. Maybe something like 0.7. Okay. Let's change the linearity a little bit. Okay. Okay, and now we can add some more color ramp to control the contrast. Shift A, ramp, color ramp, and okay, let's bring the white color almost to the left. Okay, maybe something like this. Let's add some mapping. Control T. Okay, let's change to object to vector, of course. And here we want to a little distort this Voronoi texture, and we can distort it by adding Musgrave texture here. So Shift A, Musgrave texture, and let's place it here and change to multifractal. Okay, let's change size, maybe this much. Okay, detail max. And let's change a little bit of dimension, a little bit, just maybe this will be okay, this will be enough. Okay, now we can do another one thing. Let's preview this one with mix. We can change, bring it to the right a little bit. Let's add one more mix node, Shift A, mix, because we want to mix this with this section with this section. Okay, let's add here mix. Okay, and we will bring this mix here. Okay, let's preview this. Okay, let's change this factor a little bit down. Okay, and now we want to add another Voronoi and nice noise texture here to mix these two textures with each other. So Shift A, Voronoi texture. Let's change distance to edge. Okay, let's change scale to 0. Okay, and one more thing, let's add color ramp, but maybe now we can preview this. Okay, let's change scale. We change scale, we change detail maybe to 1.5. Okay, roughness a little bit higher. Okay, maybe something like this. Lacunarity, let's set to 4 a little bit. Random is okay, and let's add some noise texture. Shift A, noise texture. Let's connect factor to vector. Okay, let's change scale. Let's lift scale. Let's put up some detail. Okay, roughness maybe a little bit higher, maybe something like this. Lacunarity maybe a little bit. You can experiment with this setting, of course, but I want to show you the main idea behind this concrete texture. Okay, distortion will leave as it is. Let's add some color ramp. Of course, color ramp is always nice to have one. Okay, let's bring the white to the left. Maybe this much will be okay. And now we want to mix this section with this section. So let's add Shift A, mix color, of course. Let's add here, and let's connect this color to this one. Okay, let's preview this. Okay, but of course we don't have these textures enabled. We don't see the result of this, so now we only see these two sections of textures. So okay, let's see now. Okay, how it looks. Okay, looks pretty nice. Let's adjust a little bit some settings here, maybe. Okay, and this here. Okay, maybe a little bit more to the left. Okay, Let's change a little bit the scale of this Voronoi texture, maybe something like this. Okay, here I will leave it. Okay, let's change the factor a little bit to the right, maybe, as you can see. Okay, now let's change this factor here, because we don't want much of this. We want a slightly to be appearing on these concrete textures. So because when I will leave it at the right, at the 100% at the right, it will be not nice. So I will leave it as maybe 0.2. Okay. We can uncheck this clamp factor, we don't need it. Okay, and now let's see other parameters, how they look. Okay, and here, how does it look? Okay, okay, we can now add some color ramp here among mix and principal BSDF. Shift A ramp to add some contrast to our concrete. Okay, maybe a little bit white to the left. Okay, you can easily control contrast with our texture with this color ramp. Okay, let's add a bump to the normal bump. Okay, and let's plug this whole section to height. Okay, see, of course distance is too much, maybe 1.4. strand also maybe 0.5 will be enough. Okay, let's bring this a little bit to the right. Okay, and now we want to have some more depth of this texture, so we will add ambient occlusion. And ambient occlusion is pretty nice because light is never perfectly distributed on a given surface. So there are places that will always have less light, for example at refractions. So we want to add ambient occlusion to our texture, procedural concrete texture. So Shift A, search for ambient occlusion. Okay, let's place it here. Let's add another mix. Shift A, mix, color, of course. Let's add here a mix. Let's place ambient occlusion AO to the A and this color to the B. Okay, and let's add, of course, a ramp, color ramp, to control our ambient occlusion. Shift A, ramp, color ramp, and now Control Shift and left click, and I will show you what this ambient occlusion does. So we will increase the contrast with this slider with black and a little bit of distance. Okay, maybe 0.6. So you can see this place. This is a place where light will be. There will be not much light in these places down there. Okay, let's change this a little bit. Okay, let's preview principled BSD. Right, Control Shift left click. Okay, And let's add some white scratches to the texture. So we can change this roughness to almost 1. And let's add another principal objective, Shift D to copy this. Okay. Let's add a mix shader, because we want to mix these two shaders. Okay. Let's plug this to the bottom shader. Okay. All right, and we want to control this factor, but we want to control this factor by Musgrave textures. So we can from here connect Musgrave texture. Okay. Let's change some settings. We want FPM, we can leave it. Scale, maybe it's too much, maybe let it to 2. Okay, detail, of course, max. Dimension, we can change to 0. Okay, lacunarity, let's leave as it is. Let's add some mapping. Okay, Control T. And let's change to object to vector. Okay. And maybe on Z axis, on scale, we will change a little bit, maybe something like 2 will be okay. Okay, and of course we can add a ramp to control contrast. Shift A ramp, color ramp. Okay, let's bring to almost to the center this black color and white also. And we can change this white color to some maybe light gray. Okay, something like this. Okay, and our concrete texture has some light scratches on the surface. Okay, and now we can tweak a little bit these parameters. Okay, we can change it to max, and now in this color ramp we can a little bit change this a little bit, maybe something like this. Okay, and let's see how it looks. It looks pretty okay, pretty nice for a concrete texture. Let's zoom to see how it looks on close up. It looks pretty nice, I think. Maybe we can add some deformations. Tap to edit mode, maybe Ctrl R to add some cut loops. Okay, maybe this much. Right click, okay, 3. Now I want once again Ctrl R to add this cut here. Okay, left click and right click. Okay, 3 to select faces. Let's select maybe these faces with Shift E to extrude. Okay, let's see, and you see these refractions here, and ambient occlusion adds some nice depth when the refractions appear. Okay, let's add some subdivisions. So control maybe 1, it will be okay. And shade smooth. That's pretty nice. We can add some new cube, Shift A, mesh cube. Okay, let's bring it here, GZ1. We can scale it a little bit down, Ctrl A to apply scale. Okay, and of course let's add our material, concrete material, of course. Okay, tap to edit mode to select edges, Ctrl B, bevel, maybe this much. Okay, up to about the object mode, and you can see, maybe let's bring it here a little bit here. Okay, and you can see everywhere where refractions appear, our ambient occlusion adds shadow, some sort of shadow, because light in these places will be never distributed evenly on the full surface when the light is appears much more perfect. Okay, I want to check one more thing again here. Let's tweak a little bit this mix of these two textures a little bit. Okay, maybe here. Okay, maybe let's add some deformation to our cube. So Shift D to copy, Shift Z along X and Y only axis. Okay, tap to edit mode. Let's go back to the shader view. Okay, and let's subdivide this maybe 3 times, and let's add some fractals, of course along normal a little bit, maybe this much is okay. Tap out. Let's go back to the render view. Okay, and Ctrl 1 to add some subdivisions. Okay, and we have some deformed cube. Okay, let's bring it here, maybe here. Let's scale it a little bit. Ctrl I to apply scale. Okay, and once again scale on X, maybe this much. Of course, Ctrl A, apply scale. And as you can see, our concrete material shader applies very nice to all scaled objects, and it looks real nice, I think. We can zoom a little bit to see details, and I think we have some nice structures of concrete here. So this is pretty nice. So as you can see here, the whole thing is about mixing some textures, some noise, Musgrave, Voronoi textures, mixing together this texture and add some ambient occlusion and some nice distractions with another principal BSDF. So that's it for today, and I hope you like this tutorial, and let's meet again in another tutorial which I will prepare for you. Bye!